President Donald Trump says he is directing the opening of a detention center at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. He says it will hold up to 30,000 immigrants illegally living in the United States and who cannot be deported to their home countries. This comes as his administration has carried out raids in multiple cities, prioritizing the arrests of those with criminal histories. Tonight, WRTV's Adam Shooms spoke to an Indianapolis group who helps immigrants settle in the United States and how they're trying to navigate this uncertain time.
Lucia Mercado tells you it's personal.
I moved to the United States when I was around 8.
As the executive director for Coalition for Our Immigrant Neighbors, she works to help immigrants and organizations during a time of uncertainty.
We're just talking in a sense of these people not being human. And I think there's this need to have just basic sense of empathy. I don't know where that went.
Point is a nonprofit. It works to connect organizations and volunteers within the immigrant community with services, including legal and mental health.
We pivot our efforts depending on what seems the most urgent. Currently, with the climate, it called for an immigrant steering committee.
The current environment against immigrants and refugees is taking a toll, meaning that they don't know what is real, what is not, what ICE can do, what ICE cannot do.
William Esquivel works with schools in central Indiana to support its clients.
It's also shocking to see that there are many people who don't have anyone else who might have a citizenship status who could take care of the kids if they are taken away. And we are talking not about criminals. We're talking about regular people.
Now the nonprofit is trying to navigate a time that have many on edge.
I would just say have some empathy and look at these people as people because they're humans.
In Indianapolis, Adam Shooms, WRTV.
If you are looking for more information or to get involved, you can find it in this story on our website at WRTV.com. Governor Mike Braun issued an executive order yesterday on illegal immigration. It requires law enforcement to report people in the country illegally who pose a threat to public or national security. Officers must notify the state's Intelligence Fusion Center, which monitors and shares information about criminal and terrorist activity in Indiana. Governor Braun says this move will show that the state stands with the decisions of the federal government. We've heard a lot of talk about executive orders lately and seen some of their effects this month. President Trump has issued them, and so has Governor Braun. An executive order is different from legislation lawmakers and government chambers must approve, and they are protected in the Constitution and date back to George Washington. According to the American Bar Association, on the federal level, an executive order is a directive from the president which manages operations of the federal government. They are carried out like a law would be. Executive orders don't need approval from Congress. IU Indy political science professor Scott Pegg points out executive orders stand unless one of a couple of things happen.
Either the president rescinds it or clarifies he means something different. They can be overturned by laws of Congress, which is difficult to do because the laws of Congress then have to be signed by the president or overridden. His veto has to be overridden, which is very hard to do. Congress can also, if it doesn't like the executive order, restrict funding to implement it. If it's something that requires funding, they can say no Department of Defense budget money will be used for this specific purpose that is in the executive order.
The courts can also review and halt executive orders, as we saw with the TikTok ban and the federal spending freeze. President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued the most executive orders, more than 3,000, during his 12 years in office.